It's Talk Comics to Me time. Wait, I should have said hi. Hey.
Hello.
It's welcome. It's time.
It's welcome.
It's welcome. It's welcome time. That's the beginning of the show where I say hi. Me, Champenstein.
And me, Heather.
And we talk about comics here.
That's what we do.
Yeah. I don't have any other. I really flubbed up that beginning, so I just don't want to talk anymore.
Okay, I'll go. I'm going to talk about comics. Okay. Oh my god, I didn't even notice the back of that. That's sick.
Whoa, bro.
It's so trippy. Okay, this is Death Dealer. This is issue number 6. This is a one-shot from the series. It does have to do with that, though, so I don't know why they just didn't continue. This literally picks up where the first story arc left off. Kur, I think his name is, or Cure. It's Kur, so however you want to pronounce it, I guess.
Easel.
Oh, yeah. The main character, Death Dealer, well, he's not on the cover, but Death Dealer, that was in the first story arc, after he accidentally murders the child from all of his berserk bloodlust, he gets sent to hell.
Sorry, I was just thinking of this tear.
the one
tear.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So he is in hell right now, and so the sorceress that he was on the journey with him, she's trying to find someone to go into hell to get him back to continue their journey. She is not able to go in there herself because of the power or something that she has, like it'll just draw all the spirits and stuff towards her, so she is on the lookout for a wizard. This is the wizard. She's trying to find him because he's like the strongest magic wielder in the land, and he's the only one that's able to go in there to retrieve someone. So this issue is just her trying to find him.
She's got to find a man to make that happen for her.
Yeah, and she tricks him. Because he's like, when she finally finds him, he's been like just mixing a bunch of potions and getting stoned like the entire time. He's like, I don't want to do anything else, I just want these drugs. And she tricks him and convinces him to go to hell to like do this task for her.
Yeah, dude, I don't think I'd want to come out of a cave doing drugs to go to hell. It sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, it sounds like a really bad time. It cracks me up though, because the way that the wizard talks. All right, man, let's be clear on this. I'm not going to go easy on you. So, like, which one of you is going to tell me? Just the way that he talks. It was very, very weird. There's butts in this,
I was
though.
like, booty.
Yeah, the art in this I really, really liked. But this one was written by Mordecai. Michael Mordecai, the one who does Barbaric. So, I did really like this one. And I do still really like this series. So... that was Death Dealer. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go
my
ahead,
second
go
one.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Dead Kingdom. This is issue number 1. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these names because I am going to mess up this last name, but it's Etienne Derapentigny. I don't know. Anyway, I only special ordered this first one because I wasn't quite sure, but it is a medieval zombie story.
Okay.
I liked it way more than I probably should have. It was really silly, but it follows the main character, Kane. He goes with a group of soldiers to investigate this village where everyone apparently died. They've gotten word that like several villages around this area, they can't get a hold of anyone. Like everyone has like been dying and they don't know why. And they discover zombies. So that's very simple, like just a mindless zombie story. There is only going to be 5 of them. And I think I am going to add this just because it was a lot of fun. It was pretty brutal. Just a zombie story, you know.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
She had a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have Eve. This is Children of the Moon. This is issue number 1. This is a continuation of the first story arc, which ended with like Eve and her, they're basically are just a bunch of clones of Eve.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so like the main Eve that you know and her clone survive and the world's kind of saved. And this one, they find out about like different options that their like father had set up to try to save the world. They end up going to an area on the moon that houses like people that have been there for a long time, and that's kind of where this comes up.
It comes off.
Comes up.
So
this is where it starts off.
Okay.
Those are the words I'm looking for. I haven't talked to anyone for a few days.
Yeah.
Besides Chris.
And I understand that completely. You are, you can't talk. I've been having trouble today too, and I don't know why. But I was going to ask, is it the same team that does like the first story art?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
I mean, at least I know it's the same writer. I'm pretty sure that's the same artist as well. I actually was going to look up, but I did not. So.
Okay. And I know with the first part, because I read that first issue, but didn't read anymore, but you were immediately into it. Was it like that for this too?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I was like fine with the ending, so I wasn't like I knew that they were probably going to do more, but I don't necessarily need it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I understand completely. I'm still reading Deceased.
I like will probably like still read this, at least finish this story arc, but it's like I don't.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary for me. I was fine with the way I like left things off.
Okay. Very good. Those are all my questions for you.
All right, so now we have this is Batman One Bad Day. This is the Penguin issue. I actually did not like this issue at all.
Really?
There are aspects of it I liked. Like I did kind of I liked the art. Like I liked the way the penguin looked. I liked some of the humor of it, but like in comparison to the other like One Bad Day books, it didn't fit the feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It was very much, I mean, so far my least favorite of them too. And I don't know if it was just because of the way the story was told. I just didn't care.
Yeah, it's so basically the penguin is like down on his outs. He's left Gotham. The Umbrella Man has taken over all of the crime, and the penguin is coming back to try and take everything over and make Gotham better again, because under his rule, technically things were more secure and
everything
like,
was fair,
better ran, and under the Umbrella Man, everything is chaos.
Yeah, I didn't like the dialogue between like him and Batman.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I also didn't really like the way Batman came off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, there was just something about this where I was like, no, this wasn't it for me.
Yeah, and I think that it's fair considering each one is like a different team doing it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, 50-50 chance on like whether or not you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
and
for
I feel
sure.
like we've gotten lucky with the other two. So it's just the one that was not a hit.
Yeah, I was like, it's not bad.
Yeah,
but it's just definitely not what I. Just like, yeah, this is not hitting it for me.
Yeah, I think if you like this writer a lot, then you'll probably enjoy this story. But I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like when certain writers take on characters, you can tell like who understands the character and stuff.
But just the message felt weird.
Yeah,
so I was like, I don't understand what you're trying to convey to me 100%.
Right.
Like I do and I don't.
It like made you. It was trying to like make you feel sorry that the penguin got everything taken away from him in the way that he does to other people.
Yeah,
it was like it was very strange.
And then the way the Batman was like, yeah, you know what, things were more fair, so I am gonna let you take over.
Yeah,
but like I am gonna get you, and it's like, well,
I'll let you do this for now. I'll let you take your spot back so you can start doing crime again, and then I'll be back. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I just didn't. The dialogue between them just didn't seem right, but. I know, like Champ said, I didn't hate it, but it was just like I didn't care for it, and it was not my favorite of the three that are out so far.
Yeah, we'll see as they go. More to come. And this is Batman, Superman, World's Finest. This is
Hello.
Issue number 8. I can't remember this kid. David. Some kid named David crash landed in the last issue. He's got superpowers, but there's other stuff going on. He's dealing with some other crisis from being in a different world, crisis from maybe destroying his world.
Yeah, it's very unclear. I was trying to figure out what name they go
Boy
by.
Thunder.
Boy Thunder. Okay. Yes. But yeah, Batman and Superman are like, I don't want to say training, but they're learning him, I guess. So he can be a hero with them, but yeah, while dealing with all of his trauma.
Without telling anyone about
yes.
it. I still like that book a lot. Dan Mora still just murders the art.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't really like a lot to say about it. You just kind of like go in, read an issue, you're out. Like,
yeah.
No real brain commitment or thought commitment to that one.
No, it's just a very easy story to read. And you don't need to know anything about these characters to enjoy it, really.
It's
so
just there.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so next we got more Batman.
More Batman.
This is Batman the Night. This is issue number 10. This wraps up our boy Chip's little first Batman mini-series, or I guess mini-maxi series.
It's a mini-max.
A mini-max series. I will say this in the utmost respect, it should have been less issues.
Yes, I agree.
Like, there are parts of it I liked, there are parts of it I did not like. The length was unnecessary. Like, there could have definitely been, like, 2 issues that were not there, or like condensed more into like an issue and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, like
some of the training montages.
Yes, exactly. I was gonna say some of when he's with his like teachers, some of them were only like an issue, whereas like a few of them were 3 or 4, and it like didn't make sense. Like I don't know. I agree with you on the length. I didn't mind the story. It was a fine story. It's Batman.
Yeah, it's Batman.
It's a Batman story.
I wrote it.
Yeah. I did like how this tied up. Like I liked the narration a lot in this one, and him reuniting with Alfred I thought was very good. But it's Batman.
Yeah, no, that is the thing. It is Batman. It is a story we know. It is a twist on it. Yeah, the art was great.
Oh yeah.
It really like I think helped the story a lot. Like drove a lot of the story on. But yeah, it's just too long.
I did like the characters in it. Like I can never remember his name. Anton, yes.
And then he has a new name. So
Yeah,
but I'm not caring to remember that.
No, I'm not. I don't want to pronounce it because I don't want to get it wrong. But I like how he was back and forth the entire time. Like I never knew if I was like supposed to like him or not. So I thought that was pretty neat. It was a nice little character.
Good little boy.
It was a good little boy. Okay, I will go.
Okay.
This is DC's. This is the 3rd issue of War of the Undead Gods. This is just honestly a continuation of the DC series. I don't really know what else I can say about it. It's the same stuff that's been happening. They are trying to reverse the effects of the anti-life equation on all of the DC characters that have been turned that they haven't killed. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. This is the Dan Mora cover. That's why I got these ones.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it looks great.
I was like, yeah, the art does look really good.
The art is like one of my favorite things about this book. Art looks good. I do enjoy the story quite a bit. That is necessary actually in terms of like the storyline because it's them reversing everything. But that's a lot. I've been reading a lot of DCs for years now. And that's all I'm going to say.
I have the Sea of Time book. This is number 1. This is by T. Edward Beck. God, I cannot remember like the traveler's name, but this is based off of a traveler in the Arctic area and his like observations and like poems and shit.
I'm gonna look through it actually real quick. I know I did the other day, but like it just looks so good.
Yeah, it was a really cool book. I really enjoyed it. I wish I had looked into more of it, looked into more information to tell you guys. I'm sorry, I kind of failed on that, but
it said chapter 1. Are there multiple chapters in here? Okay.
There's gonna be more like issues.
Okay.
So before the next one, I promise I will look up more information and let you know. But yeah, it's a really, really cool looking book. I like the art a lot.
I think I might actually pick that up.
I liked the like cadence of the story itself, and yeah, I thought it was really interesting. So
There it is.
there it is. I promise next time more information. This is Fruiting Bodies. This is a book both Heather and I have. Heather did not get a chance to finish it.
Yeah, I did not, and I apologize, but you can say whatever you want about it, because I've read a little bit about it. So.
Okay, well, I won't like spoil it or anything, but I will read the back a little bit because that helps. Frances just is going to start. I'm not reading all of it like it's supposed to be, just so you know. Frances is starting their life over. Frances is starting her life over with a new partner in the dreamy Pacific Northwest. She's going on a cross-country road trip with her brother and her brother's like friend, and they do not get along. Like
her brother or her brother's friend?
Her brother's friend.
Okay.
They're button heads the whole time. And then they end up having to like camp in the forest in the middle of the evening because they run out of gas or are about to run out of gas. They encounter a stranger, and things go from there.
Okay, all right. And you liked this one a lot.
I did like this a lot. Yeah, I thought it was a really good story.
So I know you can't really compare the two because they're different stories, but it's the same person. But this and A Million Little Fires, would you say that you liked this one more?
I would say I would probably have to reread A Million Little Fires because I did really like that book. But like I think this one was like more concise and easier to read.
Right.
Like easier to just like take in and understand.
Yeah, I was going to go back and read that too, but I forgot I gave that to Cecil for Christmas last year. Whoops.
So yeah, I did really like this, and yeah, I think if you're gay and you like mushrooms,
beautiful. I love that. It just looks really good too. Like I do like the cover, the way that it's done, but the art in it is always every book that I see by them. I'm like, hell yeah, this art is so incredible.
I do really like the art a lot. So,
and I would say, if you're into this type of story, look into Silver Sprocket books. Like,
yeah, Silver Sprocket.
We cannot say enough
great.
about how cool like the artists and like books that they have available, like on the website. Just check it out. It's definitely worth it, and you're supporting small artists.
Yeah, so. And I mean they usually give you some goodies too, so it's always worth it.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. Okay,
go ahead, my bro Sif.
I put lotion on before I came here because my hands have been so dry, so I'm leaving like grease tracks on everything. Okay, I have Phantasmagoria. This is issue number 2. It's a Black Caravan book. This is just the detective and his young boy child companion. They are trying to investigate what happened to the woman in the first issue. She was possessed. A bunch of stuff happened to her, but at the same time, another detective is doing dirty work trying to find this person before they do for nefarious reasons. I like this story a lot. I had to look it up because I was confused by the way that this story is told, and I don't know if it's just my mind because it's in black and white. I have a hard time like telling which characters are which. And when you give me 2 old white men in Victorian era, like
they look exactly the same.
Yeah, that is the thing. But yeah, he is the bad guy, the one that looks like Charles Xavier, is the one who is enlisting the help of I'm just going to say a witch because I'm not exactly sure what the appropriate term would be for her. She is able to like see the dead and figure out where they are, where they've been going, what they've been doing, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, he's using her for bad reasons. But I do like it. I just wish that I might color it in, to be honest. It might make it easier for me.
I have Above Snakes. This is issue number 4. Dirt is coming to the end of his little revenge story. Here he encounters all of the Above Snake gang and kind of gets buried.
Like alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Dirt in the dirt.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I really like this series. It's just really, really far in, so I can't really talk too much about it, but looks fucking good as hell.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I really like a lot of the lettering in this book, particularly. There's like just some really interesting, like, uses of text to tell the story and, like, integrating it into the story.
I do like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So, yeah. I think it's really, like, good little, like, Western revenge story with, like, a newer age twist.
And that's just the first story arc, right? Like, is that all they're going to be doing?
I think that's all they're going to be doing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
That's what I thought, but for some reason I thought it'd been going on a little bit longer. Like, this is the second story arc, but that's still the first and most likely only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
I mean, I'd be surprised. I mean, the next issue is, like, the conclusion of this, so.
Okay.
And I don't know, like, I don't feel like I'd want more.
It's not necessary.
Yeah,
a lot of times
especially and especially depending on how they end up this. Like,
yeah,
don't need it.
Okay.
All right, so then we have Silver Coin. This is issue number 15. This is the end of this story arc.
Yeah, I was gonna say you put yours up, mine's damaged.
Yes. This is, like, just kind of showing how the coin can use and eat at one person for, like, an extended period of time, and then this kind of, like, overarchs a few of the different stories as well. I really like this issue. It's going to go on a hiatus for a little bit since Michael Walsh and his wife are having a baby. He did put his wife's name in there, but I did not remember it.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't read the whole letter in the back.
I thought he
Tony Marie Griffin.
Yeah, so they're having a baby, so going on a little bit of a hiatus, but I will be excited when it comes back. This is a series that I've enjoyed very, very thoroughly. I have thought it's a very interesting way to go about an anthology, and it's turned out really well.
This review takes classic tropes and injects them with a punk rock energy, which is very funny, but also fair.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
it's a very, very good anthology. I think it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I would say
anthology.
It's definitely one of my favorite anthologies. I think I've said this time and again, out of, like, movies and, like, books and stuff, I think this would be, like, the best horror anthology I've, like, encountered, just because, I mean, even this last story arc, which was not necessarily my favorite, there are, like, a couple in there that I really liked, but those ones that were, like, super fucking weird, I was like, this is a little off, but, like, I still like it.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't make me, like, I wasn't like, ugh.
Right.
You know?
They're good characters, if anything.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's, like, an interesting, like, use of story, and then, like, the art always, like, shines, too, so.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't know why I just did that.
So now we have Bone Orchard Mythos 10,000 Black Feathers. This is issue number 2. This continues the story of Jack and I can't remember. No, I think.
No, it's not. Jack. I don't know why I said Tony. Oh, because that was his
yeah.
wife's name. But yeah, it just tells their story
of friendship.
Yeah,
and
they are currently writing a story together, and this issue is told with, like, the story that they're writing, and then them in present time, and them growing up and growing apart, and then eventually the mystery of what happens to Jack.
Yeah.
What is her name?
I don't remember. It's pretty terrible.
The art is just.
The art is so good in this, and I really like the time jump type of stuff that happens in this. When I first started this issue, I was like, do I remember how the other one ended? And I realized, like, what was happening, and I was like, okay, that's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't. We'll figure out her name at another time, but yeah, it's this. The way that the story is told is very, very cool. I like the back and forth between present and the fantasy story that they're writing, and, like, how it all meshes, I guess.
Yes.
But it also has a lot of, like, the deepness of, like, insecurity when you go to high school with friends. And,
like, that's, like, that hit really hard because I was like, oh my god, it's, like, sucks. It sucks so much. I remember those feelings.
Yes. It's a very solid story, and I think it's hard to compare the two of them, but I think I do like this part of the Bone Orchard Mythos series more than the first, like hardcover that they did, and I think it's just
The
because
Passageway.
yeah, and I think it's just because these characters are more relatable to me personally than like a lighthouse keeper and
a random dude coming to check things out.
Yeah.
I think, well, in this, like, even though it's only a couple issues in, it's also, like, has provided more depth than even that, like, first, like, hardcover gave you. Like, in 2 issues, it's like, okay, I feel who these characters are and, like, what's going on. In that, like, hardcover, it was kind of just like, here we are, like, here's what's gonna happen.
Horror.
Yeah, like, hole.
yeah, figure it out.
Crazy hole. Are you ready? All right, so now we have Mindset. This is issue number 4. This is just about an app that controls you. And Ben and his team, his friends, sold their app and making it big, but as always with, I think, this sort of thing in story, it's like things are not what they seem.
Tragedy happens and he's telling the story. Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I still really enjoy this. I just think it's, like, so deep into it. It's like, I can't really tell you, like, what's going on without it, like, spending a long amount of time. I think it's worth a read if you like this, like, weird sci-fi sort of stuff. I really like the art, though. The art is probably the one reason. The art, like, panels and... Yeah,
it's absolute. The colors and stuff are really good. And yeah, this story is really good. It's just very dense. I guess there's a lot of information that you're taking in about, like, the tech side of what they're working on and then the personal side as well. It's a lot, I think. Yeah.
And there's, like, a couple murders, so...
Yeah, and that's just kind of, like, casually thrown in. Like, oh, by the way, this person died. It's good. Like, I do really enjoy it, and I read pretty fast, like, in general, but this one I have to, like, read very slow because, again, there's just a lot to it, but definitely would recommend. I think if you're not reading it, you're a chump. I'm kidding.
Wow.
You can read whatever you want. I don't care.
Wow.
Okay. I'm going to talk about this one.
Okay.
This is Marvel's Crypt of Shadows. This is just a one-shot. It's literally just short stories about characters, and they're, like, horror stories. That's it. I don't really have anything to say about it.
Okay, that makes sense.
6 stories. Yeah, 6 stories. Each one is by a different team. You got different artists and stuff on it, which I did enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad it was only a one shot because I didn't have to, like, put too much thought into what I was reading. The art is really good for, like, all of them.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's not always the case.
And the narrator is Victor Strange, brother to the dead doctor. That's how he introduces himself, which I thought was really, really cool. In between each story, he, like, says something about it, like the Crypt Keeper. So, I don't know. It was fun. It was only $5.99, so I felt like that was a pretty good deal for Marvel.
I'll say not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. I got Castle Full of Blackbirds. I'm just gonna set this here. I don't have a lot to say. I find this like first and second issue to be, like, confusing, and I think just because the way they, like, flash through things is fairly quick, so I have a problem, like, figuring out who is who and, like, what part they're playing. So that's all I really have to say.
Okay.
Probably my least favorite Hellboy universe book I've read so far.
Is that the one with the school?
Yeah.
There's, like, a school? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about the first
one.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's not bad. It's just there are a lot of girl characters, and they have different colored hair, but they kind of all look alike.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I can't figure out what everybody's deal is. I don't know what their deals are, so maybe as time goes, I'll figure out their deals, and I'll be able to tell you more.
One day.
All right, so a book that I've been really far behind on and Heather is confused by is DC vs. Vampires. This is All Out War. Okay.
We got some tea on this book, too. Well, not this book in particular, but the DC Vampires.
So we haven't talked about DC Vampires in a while, actually.
We both took it off of our poll.
So some stuff on Twitter came out that Otto Schmidt did some pro-Putin propaganda, and then that he is like friends with a woman who is a Nazi, who's done like Nazi propaganda art, and then also like child pornography art. So just gonna like keep DC vampires on my poll in good conscience. Conscience. But I keep looking up to see if anyone said anything. No one has said anything yet, so that is frustrating. Otto Schmidt has basically not posted since then. He's like thanked people for like reading books and stuff.
I haven't seen anything. I mean, I haven't read anything.
Yeah, no, I keep like just checking Twitter to see, but yeah, there's nothing out. I mean, it would have been way too late for them to pull him from the book anyway. So, I don't know. It just sucks because I hate learning that information. It sucks because there isn't like, it's not very clear.
Right.
So, but regardless of that, it doesn't matter if it's not clear. If he did of this art, he is absolutely in photos with a person who is a Nazi, and there is, the old adage of eating dinner with
people you shit with. Wait, how does that saying go?
No, that is definitely not it. That's not it. If you're at a table with 6 people, and I'm just giving 6, I don't know how many people, 6 people, and one of them is a Nazi, you're at a table with all Nazis, or like all Nazi sympathizers.
Yes,
so basically,
that is not what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, but basically, yes, I think.
Okay, that's fair. I don't mess with Nazis.
Yeah, if you're willing to be friends with that type of person, then you probably are not of the best like social standing for me, and I don't care to give you money or potentially future jobs or anything.
So yes, that is why DC Vamps is no longer a thing for Talk Comics to me. We did keep this one because Otto Schmidt has nothing to do with this one. And I did read this. It's confusing. And I don't know. It's like so close to being done, but I just don't know.
Yeah, and I'm salty, so I haven't read the last 2 issues. So it's fine. I might get there, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because I was thinking about reading like the other one off the shelf, and then when I saw it, I was like, fuck you.
The art in this one's really good. I do like that a lot. It's just confusing. Maybe one day we'll be able to talk about it again.
We'll see.
Yeah, who knows.
Another book that I am behind on just this issue, this is Aquaman Andromeda. I also just kind of want to read this as like a whole.
I do think that would be beneficial because I did read this and I did enjoy it for what it was. I think the art in this one is phenomenal. Like, blew my mind away. I know that Christian Ward does the art on the other 2 as well, but for some reason this one, like, maybe that's why I got confused by the way the story was being told, because I was only like focused on the art.
Yeah.
But this just sums up the story of what happens on that submarine, I guess. It is a submarine, right? Like, I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah. Underwater vessel.
Yes. What happens to the team that went to go investigate this phenomenon down in the ocean, and how Arthur Curry has to do with the story. I don't want to like spoil anything because I do think that since Champ has not read it yet and is going to read it, I want you to experience it and tell me if you got confused too.
Fair.
All right. I'll talk about this one.
It is wild. I feel like you did just talk about this book.
Yeah, I had to like look it up. This one, 32, came out last week. Okay, so this is X-Force. This is number 33. This just concludes the Kraven hunt that he is doing. He is hunting Wolverine. He sends Beast to the Shadow Room where they train in, where the X-people train in. And starts hunting him so that Wolverine will go in and save him and he can hunt Wolverine. It kind of backfires a little bit. Things do not go exactly according to plan because while this is happening, while Kraven's farting around in the Shadow Realm, the Eternals and everything else that's been happening in Judgment Day is happening right there. So it's very confusing. I don't understand why this is happening right now, like why this story had to be told right now.
Yeah.
Because it ends with Craven going, well, shoot, didn't work out how I wanted it to. Now time to go do something else. Like, what? It was very deeply not satisfying to me. Because this is X-Force, and he pulls Wolverine away from everything that's happening on Krakoa and the entire world so that they can have a little hunting game.
Just didn't see the big fucking,
oh my
like,
god, the progenitor.
The celestial, like, just standing fucking right there.
Oh my god. And also, my issue is damaged.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which, you couldn't have known. No one could have known. I didn't notice it until I got to this page and went to flip and it, like, came off. But anyway, and you know I don't like Deadpool, but there was one part that kind of made me go, okay, that's pretty funny. And it's this. So Craven had killed him in one of the previous, well, not killed him, but had decapitated him. So while his body is growing back, Forge gives him a green grass body to hold him over until his body grows back. Well, Deadpool is in the realm with them trying to help Omega and Wolverine, like, save Beast. His grass body burns up and all that's left is a tiny little baby body with a leaf over his wee-wee. But yeah, that was it. And then I was like, okay, that's the only time I think I will ever enjoy Deadpool. And then literally Wolverine has to go back and hold him like a baby. But anyway, I didn't care for it. Did not care for this at all. It kind of upset me a little bit if we're going to be completely honest here. Because there are bigger things to worry about than putting Wolverine's head on your mantle as a trophy. Like,
I don't know if your whole deal's hunting.
Craven. And I like Craven.
All right, let's move on.
Yes, please.
This is public domain. This is issue number 5. There's one. Is there one more issue?
I don't know, because I thought it was ongoing, but it also, because it kind of reads like it would be I thought it was limited, but it reads like it's supposed to be ongoing.
Okay, well, we'll look into this more, but basically, the family, I'm just gonna call them the family.
The fam.
They start their Dallas comics. It's really, this is all this issue is. They find out the weird guy who's been getting comics from their dad is actually a rich guy, and he kind of helps fund them, and
he's just a good guy.
Yeah, so fun little issue. Made me feel like embarrassed at points. I felt called out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the thing with this one is like, it is, we've talked about it before, it's really well written and it's a lot of fun. It's like political in a way, not like politics, but like comic politics.
Yeah.
But I also do feel called out like a lot of the time about
it's like, like an adult reading comics, like, fuck you, Chip, man.
Yeah, like, what are you?
You're the man making me read comics. You make money off of me, you fool.
Yeah, call us out like that. Thought we were friends.
I do really like this series a lot, though. It's a lot, like, it's fun at the same time as like being serious. I really I love seeing Chip's art again. I love Chip's art a lot. Just a little solid little story
about a family,
comics and a family,
friends.
And now we have Wind.
Another thing about found family.
This is issue number 3. Wind and the gang are kind of hanging out at a pool. Yorick says some racist shit.
Yeah, my boy Yorick just needs to learn to shut his mouth sometimes. Like,
and then they're kind of found, but I feel like you're also, you learn more of lore of Wind.
I want them to like. Because, you know, like a lot of video games, like fantasy games, especially when they have, like, deep lore, they come up with, like, books that explain the world of this. I want Tinian and team to make a book like that for Wind, of, like, all of the lore, the characters, the people over time, kings, queens, all that. I would love that. I would eat that shit up.
Yeah, no, that would be really cool, actually. I would also.
That is something, when I write him an email talking about conspiracy theories, I'm going to just throw this in there at the end. Like, P.S. Love Wind, give me a book of their lore. Like...
Yeah, just an actual book.
Yeah. I think that would be really cool to, like... Because this Wind does a really good job of explaining, like, a lot of the things that are happening in the characters and stuff, but I want, like, the deep, deep road lore. Like,
yeah, well, and I think it does a good job of, like, doing that at times too. Like there was those few issues last story arc that really like delved pretty deep into like lore stuff with like Wynn's potential family and like I can't remember what they're called.
I can't remember either.
The winged ones.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pulling up this to get the history of the thing in this last story arc.
But yeah, the story is so good. It's so well told.
It's full of heart.
Yeah, it really is full of heart. And I do love every character, even dumbass Yorick.
I know. And you know I have a soft spot for pieces of shit. Like,
yeah, I know.
I do love Yorick a lot. And I know we've like discussed this before, but it's a lot of the reasons he is the way that he is because of his upbringing. And he's trying, but sometimes he just says things that he just should not say.
Yeah.
But
in here you kind of like question him again and like his like what he really wants out of all of this.
Yeah. This was my favorite part.
Yeah, no, I love that too. Trust me.
Strawberries got you now. Like what? Who?
Yeah, like you definitely know I love that shit.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I was like, oh yeah, this is like my jam.
Strawberry jam.
Yeah. This is like some Tom Bombadil shit
yes,
right here.
Immediately, I was obsessed with it. Like, I love this story, and I like that with the way that it's going now. There's only going to be 5 issues, so you know there's going to be another story arc, and I'm into it. I think this is one of the only stories like this that just every story arc keeps going and going, where I'm just like, give me more, I want it all.
Yeah.
Because it's so good, and I never thought this type of story, like, would get me like that, but there's something about these characters and the way that this story is told. The art,
yeah,
the art.
There are so many aspects of it that are just like very, very, very good. Yeah, the art is so fucking good. It's stupid.
I can't like the difference between like night and day in this book. Even is just like yes, this book, Wind, read it, please.
All right, so now we have Deadly Class. This is issue number 56.
This is
the last issue.
You put yours up. Your cover's cooler.
Okay, I got 2. I don't think either one of us have a lot to say.
Surprisingly, unfortunately, this was gonna be completely honest, kind of a bummer.
Yeah, this was like a very, very, very. Okay. Oh, I was just gonna see.
Okay,
can we do it that way?
Put it between your 2 books here.
Okay, this is cool. This works.
Whatever, good enough.
Okay. Yeah, I was really looking forward to the end of this book for a while now. Like, been talking about, like, what's going to happen. And, yeah, I was left with just kind of, like, meh. Yeah,
it didn't really give you any feelings that you wanted to feel. It was kind of, like, I felt like I was actually getting my feelings taken away from me. Like, I didn't feel like any of the way I read this book was valid. Yeah, just a really, really disappointing end for a book that I really, really liked. And an ending that I was, like, really looking forward to. I think this is the first, like, Remender book where I was like, oh, nope. Yeah. Well, because we've been talking this whole story arc, like, our, not theories necessarily, but our feelings about, like, how we think, who we think is going to die or, like, not die and all this. And it just felt like everything that we've been talking about this whole time was just, like, brushed under the rug. Like, it didn't care. It didn't matter is what I meant to say. Like,
yeah.
It's not... none of our feelings are valid.
Well, it's not just that. It felt like none of the rest of the series held any, like, weight. Like, anything that had happened in their high school and their past didn't really matter. The time jump stuff, like, nothing really mattered.
And they brought back characters in this last story arc that were like huge in the beginning of the story, like multiple characters, just to like kill them off and then not have anything else said about them. Like they were major characters. And for what?
It just felt very lackluster. Even like the part where he's like takes them back to like the original crew and has their like talk when they're in Vegas. It felt hollow. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't evoke any emotion out of me, and because I know that I know what he was going for. He says very clearly like his goals with what he did here, but they didn't vibe with the rest of the story he was telling.
No, it doesn't seem fair that, I don't know.
It doesn't seem fair that the world outside of us like affected a book to this extent.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I wanted more from this, and it was like I said to Champ, like the fact that there wasn't even like an author's note at the end of it, and this is the end of the story. Like this is it. We're not getting anything more. And the fact that we didn't get anything from the team just I didn't like it. I love reading the author's notes and last issues to see like how they got to that point and why they decided that. And we didn't even get that. And I'm bummed.
Yeah.
That was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, no, like I said, I came out of that and I was like, well, I need to know how I feel because I feel shitty. Like, I feel shitty. Yeah. Like, because I felt like even if I didn't like the end of this, it would feel like bittersweet it being over. But I didn't like the ending to the point where I was like, this affects how I feel about everything else, and it makes me really feel like the book should have ended a while ago.
Yeah. This is just a huge disappointment. And I hate saying that about book because I love this book.
Yeah.
Like, this was one of the first ones that you, like, made me read. And I was, like, immediately just obsessed with it. And I'm bummed out.
So, yeah, that's my thing. Is, like, I love this book. I love a lot of the aspects of it. And I think the one aspect I love about it is, like, it's telling of, like, how shitty this world is. And, like, nothing really works out. And I think that was my problem with the ending of this, is just like I needed it to fill out that. Like I needed it to do that, or like give actually some form of like redemption that like is meaningful in there, because that doesn't happen either. There's like nothing in there that like that's it. That's all I gotta say. I don't want to say anymore.
Yeah, that's a book.
That's a book I read for many years. Maybe I will revisit it. Probably not, because I don't want to.
It's hard. It's hard when you know that you've been let down so intensely.
Okay, so that's all we got. We'll see you later. Go support your local libraries if they still are standing.
Yeah, if they exist, please.
Go support your local comic book shops. Support your friends, love each other, do good things. Anything, Heather?
No, you summed it up.
All right, well, we'll see you on the flippity flip. Thanks for listening, as always.
We love you.
Mess with the bull, you get the horns, baby.